it, HD, we made it.
You know what?
Welcome into a Friday edition of First Take, y'all. Monica McNutt, Harry Douglas, Brian Windhorst. Oh, you want the ball? My bad, bro. Brian Windhorst, Kendrick Perkins. We got NBA, NFL, WNBA. Let me see your skills, HD. Come on, let's give it to him. Give it to him. So much to get into, y'all. You see your guy, right, guys? You see your guy. All right.
Yeah.
Having said all of that, it's been a great week. Let's start with the NBA because we got some news yesterday that I think is a little bit of a surprise. 9-time NBA All-Star Damian Lillard is heading back to Portland. According to Shams Charania, Lillard has agreed to a 3-year contract to return to his former team after being waived by the Bucks earlier this month. The deal includes a player option and a no-trade clause, however. Dame will spend next season in Portland rehabbing his torn Achilles. Now, here's the kicker. Lillard's 3-year contract is worth $42 million. According to Shams Charania, Dame will have a set salary of, that's the number on your screen, $70 million between Portland and the Milwaukee deals. Guys, I'm not gonna lie, when this news came across, I was like, aw, that's so sweet. Perk, were you surprised by this reunion?
I was surprised, but I am happy. It's been a dark cloud. It's been raining in Portland since Damian Lillard left, and now the sun is shining. And it's not about championships. It's about bringing one of the, if not greatest players to ever play in that organization for the Portland Trailblazers back home. And it was a void that was filled when they re-signed Damian Lillard yesterday. And it was a void filled for Damian Lillard retiring back to Portland. Going back to Portland for the simple fact that, yeah, physically he left, but mentally he was never gone. His heart was always in Portland. His family lives in Portland. His kids are in Portland. And most importantly, it's just, this is who Dame is, right? Dame is not one who runs and ring chase. And he seemed like, to me, he was out of character for him to request a trade. We all know he didn't want to leave Portland. So seeing it yesterday, yes, was it surprising? But also it was a sense of joy for me watching Dame return to Portland, because he is going to go down as one of the greatest players to ever put on that uniform.
I'm with you, Perk. Serendipitous was one of the vocab words that came to mind. Wendy, was this only even made possible because of the waiver situation? Like, was this even in the works behind the scenes for years?
Right, well, let's take two pathways to this. The first one, Monica, this is feel good for everybody. The Blazers fans who for the last couple of years have had a lot of losses, this is overjoying for them. This is one of their franchise players of all time. They never wanted him to go. There's a love affair with Dame Lillard in Portland. And for the karma that went sideways on Dame when he had that awful injury at the end of the season, that he could end up with this situation is really a great turn. But I gotta say, this deal is amazing for him, and I don't 100% know why the Blazers did it this way. And I want to put up a strong firewall in between the joy of the moment and how great the press conference is going to be and the deal. This deal, you talked about it a little bit. He is getting a big part of the mid-level exception. And so for the next 2 years, he's going to play one of the next 2 years, and he's going to get $28 million to play that 1 year for Portland. When you combine the two salaries together, he was already going to rehab in Portland because that's where his family is. So he gets $28 million. He gets an ironclad no-trade clause that they can't trade him. And if he rehabs beautifully, which we're all rooting for, then he can opt out and get a new contract to stay in Portland and get even more money. And that's great. And I think the Blazers had to pay a premium to a certain extent because Dame could have just chilled all season, saw how the Achilles was, and at the end of the year, saw if there was a playoff team he could have joined. This makes sure that's no longer on the table. But Monica, I just want to point out, Portland this season now has almost $40 million in money on the cap that isn't going to be on the court. They're paying DeAndre Ayton $25 million on the buyout that they agreed to with him, and now they're going to pay Dame about $14 million, very likely not to play. They traded for Drew Holiday, a 35-year-old with $100 million on his contract with the intent to compete this year, and now I'm not sure that that's the way it's going to go down. So it is. Look, I love it for Dame. He and his agent, Aaron Goodwin, did a beautiful job. It's all great. A little interesting the way Portland has decided to allocate their funds into this season.
HD, I want you to jump in, but Wendy said so much. I feel like there's so much to cut up on what Wendy said, but what are your thoughts?
Well, I'll say this, Wendy, and there's this movie by the great Spike Lee named Do the Right Thing. And Wendy, I don't know if you've seen that movie or not, but this is the Portland Trailblazers just doing the right thing by someone that meant so much to their organization and their city and still does. And when you look at a guy like Damian Lillard, right? When you're away from your kids and you make a decision and you're in Milwaukee and things are not going in the correct manner, you feel it not just from a basketball standpoint, but from a family standpoint.
For sure.
And for Damian Lillard, man, his heart is still in Portland because his family is there. His young kids are there. So I'm happy for him having that opportunity to go back, be around his kids, be around his family, be around those fans that welcomed him with open arms coming from Weber State, which is not a storied program, right?
Yeah.
So I love this move, and I appreciate the Trailblazers for doing it because every organization wouldn't do it.
So I think we all agree that it's beautiful, but I'm kind of stuck with what Wendy said, y'all, because when the deal came across the call last night, I said, oh, that's not a bad deal at all. Like, he's doing pretty well for 3 years considering he's coming off this injury. Could it have been less and still been the right thing, and maybe Wendy put Portland in a little bit of a better position moving forward?
Yes, but at the same time, I don't think there's anything wrong with showing appreciation for someone that you love.
Bro, but let's call it a buck. He got an Achilles. What was the market for Dame, y'all? Like, I love it. I love it. But if I had to play GM.
I'm a former player.
Okay,
You're not going to hit me.
Okay.
Come on here and say, hey, I hope Damian Lillard get less in that whole night. No, I'm happy for Damian Lillard and his family.
Okay, me too. But I'm just saying, Wendy put up some interesting points, Perk.
He did, but let me tell you one thing about Damian Lillard. It's gonna be interested to see what the jersey sales look like, since he's signed back. I know that much. So yeah, I get it. They paid him a lot of money, but Damian Lillard also put butts in the seats when healthy. Now he's gonna be sitting out this entire season, but this is Damian Lillard championship. This is his championship right here. Going back home, getting a nice deal, right? Getting a hell of a deal from the Portland Trailblazers, and most likely going to retire in a Portland Trailblazer uniform. See, we've been hearing all this commotion about the whole ring culture and championships. Look, the championships, doesn't take away from an individual greatness. It adds to his greatness. Do I think Damian Lillard is going to win a championship in Portland? I don't. But this right here is his championship. Think about this. He's going to max out in dollars. On top of that, half of his family lives in Portland, and he's going to forever be like there in Portland for us generational wise, when it comes down to his kids, when it comes down to him pouring into the community, when it comes down to the city of Portland embracing him, he probably is never going to pay for another meal a day in his life.
Yeah, and all of this is great context, and I think we all agree that you're very happy. I do want to take a look at the deal, the original trade, and then we got to flip this conversation to the other side, y'all, because it leaves you asking some questions about the Bucks. Now, this was the trade in 2023 that ultimately put Damian Lillard in a Milwaukee Bucks uniform. The Trailblazers, now they're going to get, or the Drew Holiday was involved in that deal, DeAndre Ayton, Toumani Camara, and then you've got some first-round swaps with Milwaukee, and then the Suns were involved in this deal. And now we fast forward. Dame is leaving Milwaukee, Wendy. We've heard plenty of sound coming out of Milwaukee this year in terms of what is Giannis going to do, and is he in the best position to win at a high level? Now, obviously you knew he was injured, he was waived, but what's happening with the Bucks?
So, yeah, the very little that Giannis has said publicly since Dame was waived and then they signed Miles Turner has not been overjoying for the Bucks and their fans. He was like, yeah, I love it there and I'll probably be there. I think he said, we'll see. And that's not what you want to see.
Của mình, video ngày hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục đi tô màu để gửi tặng đến các bạn, để cho các bạn có những phút giây thư giãn thật là tuyệt vời. Và để làm được video này, để làm được video tô màu thì mình cần chuẩn bị những dụng cụ như sau. Đây là những dụng cụ mình chuẩn bị sẵn. Đây là những bản photo mình chuẩn bị để mình tô màu. Đây là điện thoại để mình quay video và đây là bút sáp màu. Các bạn theo dõi video của mình thì hãy ấn like và đăng ký kênh để ủng hộ mình nhé. Cảm ơn các bạn rất là nhiều.
Video chi tiết. Nhé.
Quay thì sự quay và kia đi quay